Hi, it's Elena of Financialdemics, where I give you the tips and tools to manage your money, increase your savings and your income, and decrease your debt. And today I'm going to share with you 3 mistakes that I made when I took out student loans. When I initially went to college, I was 18 years old. I had no idea what I was doing or really understood about student loans. What I did understand is that I had to pay them back, but I didn't know the details. So hopefully, based off of the mistakes that I made, hopefully you can either help yourself or share this with a young person you know so that they don't make these same mistakes. So the first mistake that I made was I did not understand how the interest worked for subsidized and unsubsidized loan. When I went to school, I just thought that you don't have to pay student loans until you graduate. So I should be good because I'm getting a great high paying job and I should be able to afford whatever I take out. But what I did not realize is that yes, on a subsidized loan, there will be no interest charged until I actually graduated. And let me be clear, until we pass that good grace period of 6 months, then interest would start. So I figured it was the same for the unsubsidized loan, but not realizing that that's why it's unsubsidized, right? No, with an unsubsidized loan, the interest starts immediately once the loan is dispersed. So I had no idea that all this interest was being charged from the date that I took out the loan. Now, clearly, I was in college. When I first started school, I was not working because I went to school away. So, I still wouldn't have been able to pay for it. But looking back, if I would have realized that, I probably would have started making sure the interest is paid, or at least talk to my parents about that, because in my situation, even with a little bit of money that was given, I still, after we took both the subsidized and the unsubsidized loan, my parents still cut a check. So that could have been a situation where my parents would have possibly just cut a check for the unsubsidized portion of the loan. The second mistake I made was not really paying attention to all the payment options that were available to me once I graduated with my MBA. So when I graduated from undergrad, I probably took a year off and then I went and got my MBA. So I started paying back my loans about 6 months in, of course, and I was just paying the regular payment. And then I had already knew I was going to go back to school. I just didn't know if I was going to do a master's in accounting or MBA with a concentration in accounting. I went with an MBA because of the field I was in. I worked in the finance industry, so I did it that way. And of course, at that point, your loans are deferred. Well, it's important to pay attention to that exit counseling. And I say that now, right? But when you're younger, and even though I was an adult when I got my MBA, I still was very young in my 20s. And I did, you know how you just rush through things to get it done. But I assumed based off my income that I would not be able to get an income-based payment plan. And that was not true. And I didn't realize that till probably a year or so later. So when I actually called my servicer, they gave me all the options that were available to me. I think that I definitely got caught up in, listening to other people talk, right? Your friends and your coworkers, and they're like, oh, nah, you're not going to be able to get that, blah, 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 blah. But it's always good to go ask for yourself. And I'm glad I did, because when I changed to an income-based plan, it just made it a little bit more feasible for me to work on some other financial goals that I needed to work on first, and then to focus on those student loans. And I'm also gonna say, y'all, even if you think you can't get something, all they can do is tell you no. So ask. If you have questions, call whoever, your federal student loan servicer or whoever, call them and ask. They say no, sometimes you might have to call again, because everybody who works on the customer service side, but call and ask. And the third mistake that I made with my student loans was not paying the interest on those unsubsidized loans that I had from undergrad while I was in my grad program. Yeah, I don't even know why I was tripping. It wasn't like I went to grad school and I was not working. I was still working full time. I could afford to pay the interest. Like, I don't know if you've ever looked at it, but like the interest, well, now of course it can be high. Not at this very moment if you have a federal loan, because of course those are there are no payments, no interest right now. But if you look at how much interest is charged to your student loan every day, that interest payment on a monthly basis is very low. I could have paid the interest while those loans were deferred, because another thing that I did not pay attention to was that, oh yeah, you deferred those loans, but those unsubsidized loans, they were still generating that interest. The interest was rolling. And so I wish I would have paid the interest on my unsubsidized loans while I was in school getting my master's. That was a bad mistake that I made. I had the ability to pay. It was something that, again, I was very clear. I really did not fully understand. And yes, I had the opportunities to find out through the exit counseling, but yeah, no. I didn't fully understand how they work. I knew I was gonna have to pay them, right? I was gonna have to pay those people, right? But I just didn't really make sure that I could put myself in the best situation with paying them. And I think a lot of it had to do with just like my mindset on the loans, things that I was told, but I didn't pick the best option for my situation. And truthfully, because I was working, I could have just been paying the payment. And if I would have realized how it would have benefited me, I would have just continually paid the payment, because by the time I graduated, if I had continued making that payment while it was deferred, I'm pretty sure that I would have been basically done with my unsubsidized loan. So if you didn't notice a common theme here, a lot of the mistakes that I made with my student loans is because I truthfully, I always call it young and dumb. I did not take the time to understand my student loan and all the terms that went along with it, which in the end actually caused me to make mistakes, which affected me financially for years, and are still affecting me today. Because as you know, or if you don't, check this video out after this one. I'm still paying off my student loans, and I really could be done with them if I would have known these things and really took the time to understand my financial obligations that I had when I was younger. In the comments below, let me know, did you make any mistakes when it came to taking out student loans? I'm always interested to understand mistakes others have made, not because anybody wants to laugh at you. I think it's important to share the mistakes that you have made financially, because they could possibly help someone else that you know and love in the future. So if this video was helpful for you, or you feel that it will be helpful for someone else, please share this out. If you have not subscribed, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I'm trying to get to 8,000 subscribers, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I drop a new video. And I will see you next week with an all new one. Bye.